Hello and welcome back to Analog Comics. The thing you just saw was my TBR, to be read pile. It's never been that big before, and that's not my goal either. I don't want it to get out of hands, but now it has gotten out of hands. I want to do videos also now with my new setup, just testing new things. So I decided that maybe if I just put that TBR pile into several shorter videos, whatever that means in my context. But I try to keep this shorter. The reason this pile, the stack got so high and kind of out of hand is Largo Winch. In fact, 2 Largo Winch albums. The last one called the Golden Percentile. This is the volume 20. And the first volume called The Air. I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but I got stuck to this and I wasn't supposed to. I was supposed to start going through my TBR stack, but my wife had this on her night table and I decided to put it back to my comic shelf. And on the way from our bedroom through the living room and to this room, I just fiddled through this first volume. And I read a bit more and a bit more. And suddenly I realized that I have to read all of this. So I read the whole 2 volumes, which makes the first story arc. And then I decided that I have to read the whole series. I just got stuck into it because I took the next one, and I decided I'm going to go through all this. I was enjoying it so much. However, I was missing the last volume that came out this year, the Golden Percentile. It is the volume 20 and it concludes story arc that started in the volume 19. There's also a big change here. Largo Winch is mainly written by Jean Van Hamme. I think it was 16 volumes, and then it changed to Eric Giacometti, and he's now writing this, and he has made this a little bit more modern. There's also a change in the coloring. Philippe Frank's art is always impeccable. It's like really snappy. So far I like the new writer. The thing with Largo Winch is that this has been running for many years. It has been all about 1 album per year. So if you go through it, the whole series, you see how the technology changes, the clothing, the people, the world around the characters. So they keep updating the world also as the years go by. Although I feel that Largo Winch himself doesn't get that much older. But it's a great series, and this is the reason why I'm stuck now with this massive pile of books. And once I get through the Golden Percentile, I got to dig deeper into my TBR stack. And yeah, the idea is that I'm not going to go through the whole stack now. I'm going to divide that into smaller sections because I don't want to do so that I just show you here, I got this. I want to say something about each comic, at least something. So it would take a lot of time. So this will be at least 3 videos, maybe more. Let's see. The next is Monstrous by Liu and Takeda. Monstrous is a beautiful story. Art is amazing, but I lost the plot about 2 volumes ago. This is demanding series, really demanding. It has so much history, so many factions, so many everything that you really have to pay attention. And there is a lot to read. There are even kind of history lessons between the volumes, and you have to read them. It just demands a lot from the reader. There's something that got me hooked. I've been buying these trade paperbacks as they come, and I do read them a bit kind of lost, put them on the shelf, and I've decided that one day I'll just, put the brakes in, slow down, take it slowly, and start from the beginning. For some reason, I want to get on top of this. That's all I can say now. But it is, look, it's amazing. As you can see, I'm kind of moving these comics a bit funnily. One thing that I'm going to have to learn here is when I put up the comic so that it's in front of my face, I'm actually looking at the screen here, but it's mirrored. It has to be mirrored so that you will see the text the right way. But it means that when I'm moving this left, it's actually going right in the screen. And that means that I'm waving this, trying to kind of put it the right way, and it always goes to the wrong direction. It's just one of these things that I have to get used to. The next one is a first one for me. Chris Ware. This is The Smartest Kid. Jim Corrigan, The Smartest Kid. Or was it Smartest Kid in the World? No, The Smartest Kid on Earth. Such a strange book. I'm not a big fan of dust covers, but this one seems to be some kind of a poster. Or at least it has these weird pictures inside. It's almost like a riddle. And then even the book ends here. They are so full of small text that it'll take me some days to get through just this first book end. There's like exam. As a child, you were A, sort of happy, B, not so happy, C, miserable, D, miserable and ugly, E, miserable, ugly, and spit on. So that's kind of the type of thing that this comic takes you into. Oh, these dust covers. I'm not a big fan of them. Graphics are like this. Just showing you some pages. I have no idea what this is about. But it looks interesting. But it also looks something that will take a lot of time to kind of digest. Everything about this book looks and feels like something I've never seen or read before. Very interesting. I feel like this will take me into a complete new territory within comics. I already like the humor in this end covers. So I do hope that I like the comic itself too. This next comic will also be a first one for me. Love and Rockets. This one's by Gilbert Hernandez, and I choose to go with these softcover volumes. I've seen videos from Sir Earl Grey and Anshuman from For the Love of Comics. They've been both praising the series that has been running for decades, and there is so much content. It was a bit vague how to collect it. There are several ways to do that, but I decided to go with this format. As I understood, the Heartbreak Soup should be the first collected edition by Gilbert Hernandez. And I'll show you some graphics. Although I feel, now that I've been watching videos about this, I feel that I am the only person on planet who hasn't read any of this. But yeah, excited to get in. And there's always the danger that if I like this, there is so much more to collect. The next book is the reason why I made the order of this pile that I'm going to show you. In fact, most of the books in this pile that I'm going to show you in this video, they are from Farah Cigarer. the store that I showed you in my previous video. My friend gave me a gift card to that store, so I ordered quite a big pile of books from there because I used the card and then I used a lot of my own money too. But this book I'm going to show you now, this was the main reason I did the order from them, because I saw that they are going to have it and I had to wait 2-3 weeks before making the order. And when this book came in, I put order in right away, and it was good because just after I think 2 days this was sold out from their store. And it's Frontier. It has this tin foil. Let me see if I can turn it so that you see. There you go. Like a tin foil there, and another one in the back cover. There's tin foil. And then that spaceship here, that is little like lifted, and the same thing with characters here. You can feel them so that they are a little bit like stamped higher, these characters. And I saw this book first time in Angoulême comic book festival, and for some reason I didn't buy it. I looked at it a lot, but if I remember it, this was the only book that I was interested in and didn't have like a demo piece on the shelf. Or maybe it had, but someone else was reading it. So I only got to look at the covers. And all of these books, they had this yellow bandana around it saying that it had gotten some awards in the previous Angoulême festival. I decided to leave it there, and I was lucky because only a few weeks after that I saw that there's going to be an English version out, and it's this one. And this is available through Magnetic Press in English. I know that there are hardcovers also available, and I've seen some slipcase versions too. The soft cover is good for me. But yeah, one of the things that caught my mind is these characters. They look like, I'll show you in the back also, they look like something from an old school RPG game, video game. I'll show you the graphics. Lots of details here. But the thing that caught my attention in the front cover is this font and graphics, the Frontier graphics. This reminded me of one of the first games at PlayStation 1 called Wipeout. It was a game where you drove these floating like spaceships and you were racing on a track. And I got hooked to that game. I mean, I was really good at it. I learned it by heart, and they had this kind of fonts in it. And another thing that also caught my mind here, I marked the page. I'll show you. Here we go. If you look at that, now I got it. That helmet. That looks like something from a video game called Dead Space. A game that I loved a lot, but will never play again. It was really scary. It was too well done. So I read a bit about Singeling. Let's see, his first name was Gilme Singeling. So it seems that he has been part of creating games also, maybe graphics to them. So I'm pretty sure that these are not coincidence. Some more graphics for you. I'm still turning the books funny, but you know that it is what it is. It's some kind of story about humankind just trying to conquest the space for more resources when the resources on Earth are running out. The way I understood that this is more like everyday life of those people rather than just a huge adventure. not sure. But I have to say that even the back covers, there are so many sketches for this book. These are so highly detailed that it's insane. Very interesting book, and I'm lucky I got it because it was sold out so quickly. Okay, now I only have 4 books here on the table. I realized that they are all connected in a really neat way. I didn't make the connection when I was ordering them. I didn't order them because of that connection. But now that I look at them, it's perfect. They're like one unit, theme-wise. And the theme is World War II, which has always been an interesting subject for me. But it starts with Jason Lutz, Berlin. And this is one of those you have to read it books, kind of, because it's one of those, one of those monuments that you just have to see. But I've been wanting to read this book for a long time. It's also one of those insane works of single person. Like Jason Lutz made these comics over 20 years, and now they're collected into this. Well, not now. This has been around for a long time, but I'll show you some of the graphics in case you've never seen this before. It's in black and white. This is a strange one. Jason Lutz is not German. He's American from USA. And he decided for over 20 years to describe the everyday life of people in Germany before the World War II, between the world wars, so to speak. I think this starts in 1920 something, and it ends in 1933. Now, 1933 is important year for, Germany and all the world, because that was the year when President Hindenburg he assigned one Adolf Hitler as a chancellor. Hindenburg put certain fail-safes in place, like certain people there to see that Hitler is kept in check. Well, we all know how that turned out. So this is very interesting times. This whole where this is focused on, but it's also highly interesting. How on earth does someone from USA decide to do this kind of deep dive? And this is more about the life of everyday people. Those are the things that you rarely see when it's in newspapers from these times. Then it was more like certain battles and generals or weapons. So this is very, very interesting. And almost as a direct continuation to this, I'll just put this away, comes next one. Irmina. This is not exactly black and white. It has colors, but they aren't really bright. And if I would call this the style sketchy, it would be criminal. There's a kind of certainty in the line, but the sketchiness does come to my mind because sometimes in some panels you can see the background through the characters. Like you can see how the artist has sketched all the backgrounds and then drawn characters on top of that, and she left those lines there. But it gives this very handmade feeling. I haven't read this yet. I just fiddled through and looked at some of those panels. But yeah, about the story, because the Berlin, it ends in 1933. This starts in 1934. I did read the foreword by the creator, Barbara Yellin. This was done in Munich 2015. Before making this, she found personal diaries and letters of her grandmother. And from those this is kind of not the direct story, but inspired by those diaries and letters. And it's about person, like examination. How does a person that is very bubbly, living, loves everybody, loves life, how does she turn into a person in the war that is looking away when the SS troops are collecting Jewish people, breaking their properties, selling them away, having all that violence. People hear about the rumors of what they are going through and what have been done to them. And so this is some kind of examination that has come through real life diaries and letters. I can't wait to get my hands on this. And this is because it's also through the eyes of a regular person. But first I have to read Berlin. So it's kind of a continuation. And then I'm going to continue on the same path. This is Jean-Pierre Gibrard, The Reprieve. Now this is like a prequel to another, it was called Flight of the Raven. I think that came before this one. I haven't found it yet, but this is by Eurocomics, and I think that's an imprint of IDW. I don't know. Yeah, IDW Publishing. And this also happens during World War II in France. And look. Now we are in a completely different graphical realm. Sorry, I'm twisting this. I'm learning. That way. Again, absolutely amazing art. And the story here is this one man escapes from a train, prisoner of war train that is going to Germany. He escapes and returns to his village, and he goes to live in an abandoned house, and from there he watches the village life and how it turns out. It's a strange setup. I've heard that this is also some kind of a love story. It must be. There's a gorgeous woman on the cover, and every panel on this book is absolutely amazing. But again, something in the World War II. This Irmina was from regular German person's eyes, and this is from France, people living life under the occupation of German troops. And from there we really fluently jump into the last book, which is René Tardy, Prisoner of War in Stalag 2B. This book is by Jacques Tardy, and it's a story of his father, René Tardy. And lately I've been getting into Tardy more and more. His line work is very thick. It's thick and kind of wavy. Something that looks like that. And just showing you some pages to get an idea of his style. Tardy belongs to this group that I used to call the graphic style I used to call like a smudgy. I felt when I was younger, I felt that this type of art is, smudgy, done with thick pencils or inks. And I didn't know what they used to draw these. I was so used to the very particular art of Asterix or Tintin, William Vance, when it goes to more realistic style. And of course Moebius, and him as Jean Girard in Blueberry. The line work is more precise, and I've noticed that now that I'm over 50, that I'm getting more and more into this style, this that I called smudgy. Back then it was like a negative comment. Now it's not. I just realized that I had the same thing in music. I've started to like music that I didn't like before. And I've been embracing it with kind of just be happy about it. It just means that there is more space for me to move in within the realm of music or in the realm of comics. So it's not a bad thing. But René Tardy is definitely one of those graphical styles that I used to kind of just automatically avoid. But now I realized, man, this is good. This is really good. This is not my first Tardy. And I know I'm going to get lots more of these. And when we are going through the rest of my TBR pile, you will see a lot more of this smudgy style that is now so interesting for me. But I'll leave it here. I'll leave it here so that this doesn't go forever. And I get to see what is it that I actually film here. I get to see the lighting, the voices and everything. I try to drop these TBR pile videos in a faster pace than my usual videos. Now, one thing that I do think about when doing these videos that kind of interests me is that, was there anything in this pile that I showed you now that you hadn't seen before at all? That's always interesting me. Like, what is your take on this? Did you find something new for yourself? Or maybe there was something that you were aware of but hadn't seen the inside pages yet, or something like that. That for some reason that always interests me. Like when I'm getting books, is it something that everybody has already read, and I'm kind of coming late into that? Yeah, let me know in the comments. But I'll see you in the next one. Bye.